Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My children and I love each other.
That's stupid. Go to your room. Ew.
I do not believe you are equipped to be the mother that you need to be.
I'll beat your butt. What do you want?
This is unacceptable.
I'm afraid he'd throw knives if I didn't keep them locked up. I'm ready to take my other children and leave for their safety.
He's your child, but you're going to walk away from him. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
It matters to you. That's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. Take a look at this family. They have 3 daughters. Their parents have been together for 8 years. It probably looks to you like a pretty normal picture. But listen to this.
You guys are running around and make a mess. Get the up. If you're not going to help me, at least move out of my way so I can do it myself. Get the up.
Well, what you just heard is the despicable voice of my first guest, Miranda. Now, she's the mother to these 3 adorable little girls, and she admits to screaming, yelling, and belittling her daughters and her husband on a daily basis. She says that anything can set her off.
I swear to God, I'll beat your butt.
When I get mad, I get explosive.
Now.
I run around the house yelling and screaming at everyone.
Leave the window alone. You're going to fall out.
Most of my anger is directed towards my children as well as my husband. I yell and scream at my kids because it just seems that they won't listen to me if I talk to them in a normal voice.
Go to your room. This is not a time for jokes.
I scream at my children to clean up their room, pick up their toys, make their beds, get out from in front of the TV.
I'm sick of doing this all by myself.
My 3-year-old gets the worst of my anger.
What do you want? There is no more bread. I have to go to the store.
She's very needy, so I do yell at my daughter to stop being a baby, stop whining, stop crying.
I'm sick of hearing you whine.
I do swear in front of my children. The word, damn it.
You don't stop, you're not getting any treats. Bust my ass every day to keep it clean, and you guys are run around and make a mess.
My 5-year-old daughter will say, "Mommy, please don't yell at me."
Go. Go. You need to go take a nap.
My little daughter, sometimes I look and she's scared.
When my husband asks me to stop screaming at our children, I shrug him off, or I will yell at him that it's none of his business.
I'm scared when Miranda.
That's stupid. You lazy shit. Go to your room.
I feel incredibly guilty when I yell at my children. I feel like a terrible mom, but I'm not physically abusive. I'm not afraid that my children can be taken away from me because my children's needs physically and emotionally are met.
It's gonna take 5 minutes. It's not gonna fill you away.
So there you have it. What do you think about watching that?
That hurts. That hurts a lot.
Can you imagine what it feels like to them?
No. I mean, I can, but I guess it's different from a young child. I'm her mom. I'm their mom. I'm supposed to protect them. I'm supposed to be their guidance, and the whole time I'm yelling and screaming at them, I just can't imagine how they feel.
You know, come on. Let me say what everybody's thinking here. That is absolutely disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. And my question for you is, who in the hell do you think you are? What, seriously, has common sense just gone out the window? Are you telling me you don't have sense enough to know that that is unacceptable behavior?
I do know that it's unacceptable, and that's why I'm here. I need your help. My kids don't deserve that.
You didn't have to come here to know that's not okay. You didn't have to come see me to know that that is not okay for you to do with your children.
I didn't, but I did have to come to see you to get help because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to change my behavior.
You don't, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let me talk about this tape. I want to be very clear. We did not shoot that tape.
No. My 7-year-old
We did not come to your house and shoot that tape because there is not a staff member on my staff that would have allowed that to go on. They would have put down the camera and stopped what was going on if they had to call the police or turn the hose on you. We would not have allowed that. So your 7-year-old daughter shot that tape. Your 7-year-old daughter.
She did.
And you knew you were being taped.
A lot of the time I didn't. She would just come up and behind me.
So you didn't, that tape is not something you created to get our attention. That tape is not a lowlights of your life. That is just a typical day in the life, moment in the day of what went on.
It is.
Because I want to be very clear about why you submitted that tape.
Because I don't know what else to do.
Okay. Now, I want you to listen to what your children hear in a typical week. Take a listen.
Go to your room! This is not a time for jokes! I swear to God, I'll beat your butt! I'm sick of hearing you whine! Throw it away! Stupid! Get the up! What do you want? Shush! Asshole! Stop freaking out!
Shut up.
No, you shut up. We'll stop doing that. That's annoying.
So? I'll tell you what's annoying is you. I mean, you're saying that's annoying? Do you know how annoying that is?
I mean,
doesn't it annoy you listening to it now?
It does.
Okay, I'm still looking for the common sense element here. Now, first off, you said, I'm not concerned that my children be taken away from me because I don't physically abuse them and they're protected and taken care of.
They are. Their physical needs are met. There's elements to this that aren't seen. My children and I love each other. We have a...
Okay, why aren't those elements being seen?
I'm not sure. I guess they just weren't captured.
Well, tell us about them now, because listen, I want you to have, if you came here to defend this, if you came here to contextualize it instead of get help, then have at it. Set us straight. Put all this in balance for us and tell us why it's okay.
It's not okay.
Well,
it's
apparently
absolutely
it is.
not okay.
You say that you actually love them and that they're not abused emotionally.
If I didn't love them, Dr. Phil, I wouldn't be here. I need to change for them.
Something's missing. I don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't get it, because you're intelligent enough to know that that's not okay, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, and you say you just can't control it. Look at the faces of your children here. Turn around and look at them. I want you to see them up close. That's the lot they drew in life. Now, you say that you can't control this anger and this rage, right? That's what you're telling me?
It's true.
Didn't you also tell me that when you go to work, everybody thinks you're just a peach?
It's true.
Everybody thinks you're just a peach. Everybody thinks that you're sweet and loving and caring and adorable, right?
No one other than immediate family and a few close friends know how I am at home.
Okay, so you do know how to control it. You know how to switch it off.
I guess I do.
Because you don't do it when you can't get away with it. Because you are a coward and a bully. So you do it at home where nobody can fight back. At work, somebody could stand up and slap your face for you. Somebody could fire you. Somebody could unleash back on you. So you have the control. You just don't exercise it because at home you can get away with it because you're the big bull in the ring, right?
I guess so.
You guess so. Why do you do it at home but not at work? Why not do it at work? Why not do it with me right now?
Well, I mean, what you're saying is true. I could get fired. I could lose my job. I could.
So you have a motive to control it, right? Because you knew if you went off like that on a coworker that you would have a problem, right?
Correct.
So we know you can control it, you just don't.
Correct.
True? So we're making progress here?
Yes.
We know you can control it. What we know is you don't control it when you can get away with it.
That is correct.
And that's what bullies do. Bullies bully people that they can get away with it. And so, their little girl, they can't fight back, can they?
They can't. They're afraid of me.
Yeah, so you've got a big bluff in on them. You've got the power. You've got control. And power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And you have absolute power, so you are corrupt in that home.
Absolutely.
You say your daughter gets yelled at probably 60% of the time because she's home all day and is always whining and crying.
I know it's not an excuse, but she is not in school. And she does get a good percent of it because she's very clingy, always getting into things. She climbs on the counters, and I'm constantly running behind her, picking up after her. And
I'm shocked she's not a slobbering fool, getting browbeaten like that all the time. I want to be clear. We are agreeing that this is unacceptable.
absolutely.
You're not defending it.
No, not at all. I wouldn't come and show the whole world what a terrible mother I am if I didn't want to change.
So how do you, what goes through your mind that you give yourself permission to do this? And don't tell me you don't, because you do.
No, I do.
You don't give yourself permission at work or at church. You didn't do it on my staff, but you do it at home.
I guess I really don't know how to answer that. I think that there's no accountability at home. I mean, there's no one there, my husband, but I do the same thing to him.
Well, there's something I want Miranda to hear when we come back.
My marriage is in shambles because of the way I treat my husband.
If you're not gonna help me, at least move out of my way.
A few weeks ago, my husband asked for a divorce. It broke my heart.
Get up!
I am afraid that I'm going to lose him.
Stupid!
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil.
At 14, she was getting trafficked on Craigslist for sex.
There are predators on the internet targeting young girls.
We posted an ad posing as an 18-year-old girl. You were calling on the ad? Yeah, you gutless worm, you hung up.
And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it gets worse.
This is the most disgusting thing I have ever heard.
That's tomorrow.
I love my children dearly and want absolutely nothing but the best for them.
What do you want?
There is a lot of love and affection in my home,
Get up! You guys just run around and make a mess.
but I hate the fact that I yell at them.
Stop!
I take really good care of my children.
Stop freaking out! Get out! Right now!
I don't want to lose my children. They're my life. I would do anything for them. I would move heaven and earth to be with my children. I just don't know what to do.
Well, that was Miranda, who says she has a serious anger issue. She takes it out on her children and her husband. The question is, why? What are you so angry about?
I really don't have a reason to be angry. I have a loving husband who's very supportive and three just amazing daughters. My children are so special and beautiful, and there's really no excuse for this. I don't know why.
You have no idea. You have no theory about this whatsoever.
I know that that's kind of the chaos that I grew up in. I grew up in a very chaotic.
Well, then you should know better.
I should, and I always told myself I would never do this to my children. I would never treat my children the way I was treated.
Yeah, well, when somebody just keeps pounding and pounding and pounding, then it just becomes overwhelming. So I've set up an experience for you here, because I want you to hear what I believe they hear. So take a look, take a listen.
I swear to God, I'll beat your butt! What do you want? What do you want? I swear to God, I'll beat your butt! What do you want? I swear to God, I'll beat your butt! What do you want? I swear to God, I'll beat your butt! I swear to God, I'll beat your butt! I swear to God, I'll beat your butt!
Put these headphones on for me. Okay, you can turn it down in the house. She's listening to that now. We're not going to listen to that anymore, but I want her to listen to that. Socorro, you're her husband, correct? Do you understand you have a duty to protect these children, right?
Yeah, no.
You have a duty. It's your job because you're the only adult in the house, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my question for you is, why are you allowing this to happen to your children?
Sometimes I can say nothing because I don't know. I can do anything.
And you say that you want a divorce. You love your children, but you can't take it anymore.
If you're not going to help me, at least move out of my way so I can do it myself.
My marriage is in shambles because of the way I treat my husband.
Get up!
Try me like twice.
Socorro, get the up!
I yell at him, I scream at him. He could look at me cross-eyed and that would set me off.
Stupid!
She called me idiot, you a fishy, you a garbage, you a loser. She told me, you need to hit the on my house.
A few weeks ago, my husband asked for a divorce. It broke my heart.
I told her, Miranda, I think you don't love me.
I am afraid that I'm going to lose him.
I have a lot of pain in my heart. She needed to be better for me and for my children.
I don't blame my husband for wanting to leave. No one deserves to be treated like this.
Get the up!
I don't want to lose my family.
Well, I understand. I understand. You can bring that back up in the house for a minute. Okay. Let's all have a seat. So that's their experience. So what do you think about that?
It's terrible.
You can imagine that's what it's like for them.
Yes.
Do you have some expectation that children of this age are supposed to be completely compliant, organized, well-mannered, punctual?
No, of course not.
Well, you're screaming, I'm going to beat your butt, get up here, get up there, stop what you're doing. Apparently, they're violating your expectations.
That's what it looks like, yeah. I mean, I didn't think about it like that. I guess at the time it just seems easier just to start yelling and screaming. That's the only thing I can think of is...
So how do you feel about yourself?
Like a big piece of like a terrible mother, a terrible wife, but most of all, I mean, of course my marriage is important and my husband's important.
Now, he wants out.
I know.
I mean, he wants out. He wants to get away from you. And, of course, that means, well, I guess he's going to take the kids.
He would.
But obviously can't leave them with you. You know, I'm still looking for the common sense factor here. You can't tell me you don't know better.
I do know better.
You can't tell me you don't know how to tell yourself to shut up.
I can't control it.
But we know that you can because you control it when you're away from home. I want you to look at something for me. 9 years ago, in fact, it was in our first season. In fact, it was the first Dr. Phil show that ever aired. We met a mother named Kathy. Now, she also had a problem with yelling and cussing at her children. Most of her anger was directed at her 10-year-old son, Vincent. And I saw the same expressions on his face that I see on those two little girls. She did take my advice. She came back and told us what was going on in her life. Take a look.
I have 2 kids. I'm absolutely exhausted.
What are you doing?
I yell and cuss at them.
Shut up, Vincent.
Tell me how you feel about that.
I feel ugly. I don't want to talk to my kids like that. I don't.
Do you understand how what you're doing is breaking that boy's spirit?
Yes.
I want to make sure you do. Just look right there.
Shut up, Vincent! Shut up, Vincent! Shut up, Vincent! Shut up, Vincent!
How long is it going to be before you say, enough is enough, and I need to tell my boy I'm sorry?
One more time.
Tell him it stops here, it stops now.
It stops here. And it stops now. Okay?
Well, it's been 1 year since they were first here, so welcome back. Check this out here. How much weight have you lost?
54 pounds so far.
54 pounds.
Yes.
Kathy and her family have made some remarkable changes.
I'm happy. Everyone's calm. We can actually have a decent conversation.
Oh, I love you. I make a point not to cuss. Vincent reminds me too.
I've caught her 2 times cussing, but I told her not to, and she never did it again.
So is Mom behaving well?
Oh, she's great.
I've said before that what I try to do here is give people a wake-up call and point them in a direction and say, here are the tools. You're here for a while, but then you go home and it's you every day making the choices. What do you think about that?
That's what I want. I am here to change. I am not going to be screaming at my children. I am going to do whatever it takes to change for my children. They don't deserve that. I know they don't deserve that. No one deserves that.
Well, then you have to step up. You've got to step up here and do some things differently. And believe me, it starts with you. It doesn't start with your children. It doesn't start with your husband. It doesn't start with the marriage. It all starts with you.
Yeah, because it's not their fault. It's my fault. I need to change for me before. And then I mean, at the same time, but I need to do this for all of us.
If I tell you 1,
fault.
2, 3, put the dots close together, exactly what you need to do to change this, you're telling me you'll do it.
Absolutely.
Number 1, you need to decide that you are going to hold yourself to a higher standard. You need to decide that this is not who I am designed to be. I did not go through my childhood. I did not go through my adolescence. I did not get married with this dream for me as a wife and a mother and a woman. You've got to decide that you are going to hold yourself to a higher standard.
Okay.
Okay? And you can forget about your husband. He may leave. He may not. I don't know. I'm not concerned with that right now. I'm concerned with you saying, I will not accept this from me anymore. That you will not take it from you anymore. Your self-worth and self-esteem is on the floor. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
All right, so number 2, you have to get yourself evaluated. There's something not right. I don't know if you are hormonally out of balance or you're neurologically out of balance. I know that you are overweight, you are obese. I mean, when Kathy came back after being gone a year, she came back and had lost either 54 or 74 pounds. I don't know what it was, because she decided, I'm going to require more of myself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, in every possible way. So number 2, you've got to get evaluated.
Okay.
We've got to find out what's going on with you inside. And then number 3, you have to get yourself in shape.
Okay.
I mean, you cannot be in this kind of shape and not be a bad role model for your children. You got to lose weight. You got to get in shape. You've got to get yourself straightened up internally.
I understand.
Okay? Then you need to get yourself into some serious anger management, because you have an arrogance and an expectation that is beyond all reason. You've got to learn how, when you start feeling what you feel in the early stages of anger, that it becomes a cue for coping instead of a cue for meltdown. And to do that, you're going to have to go through some training. You're going to need some biofeedback training. You're going to need some cognitive therapy. You need some help because your compass is off.
I will do whatever it takes.
So you're going to have to do all of that.
And I will.
And I will make those things available to you. I will make every one of those experiences available to you. And I expect you to show up. I expect you to be leaning forward, motivated, hardworking, and getting this done.
Absolutely.
Now, my advisory board is going to evaluate this tape, and there's going to be a decision made whether this is a reportable offense or not. I don't know. CPS may watch this show and make a determination that what you're doing is abusive. And in the event that that is a possibility, I suggest that you start doing these things right now.
As soon as I get home.
Because you're going to need anger management, you're going to need parenting classes, all of these things are going to happen. Because I do not believe you are equipped to be the mother that you need to be at this point. Are you hearing what I'm telling her?
Yes,
are you following everything I'm saying? Okay, and I'm sorry that I don't speak your language. I would, and I would tell you more, and that's my deficiency, not yours. But you have to protect those children. If you have to put them in the car and drive away, you have to protect those children.
I will.
That's your job. So you're going to do this.
Absolutely.
And we're going to monitor this situation very, very closely.
Yes, and that's what I want.
Well, that's what you got. So I'm going to give you the help that you want. I hope I've given you a wake-up call. This stops today.
It stops now, immediately.
It stops today. All right. Sometimes it's not always the parent that's making all of the noise. When we come back, we're going to talk about a family member that kicks holes in walls and cusses at his parents. He attacks his brother. He's only 9. It's going to get worse before it gets better if something doesn't happen. We're going to find out what's going on with that family when we come back.
My 9-year-old son, Devontae, is extremely violent. He terrorizes the entire house. He beats up on his siblings, especially his 10-year-old brother. I'm at the point. I can't stand to look at him.
Well, we're talking about what happens when family members attack. That's what I said, family members that turn on each other and inflict pain mentally, emotionally, physically. 53 out of every 100 children abuse a brother or sister. And my next guest, Arlena and Damon, say this is exactly what's going on inside their home. Take a look.
My 9-year-old son, Devontae, is extremely violent. He terrorizes the entire house.
Devontae is obnoxious, aggressive, he cusses at us, and he's just out of control. Devontae told me when he gets older, I'm gonna whoop your ass. And I was like, whoa, little kid telling me this, and it's my own son.
He beats up on his siblings, especially his 10-year-old brother, Damon Jr. He hits, kicks, and throws him around. Devontae gets into angry rages. He throws things. He throws toys. I'm afraid he'd throw knives if I didn't keep him locked up. I'm afraid for my safety sometimes.
Devontae has pretty much turned my house upside down.
Devontae loves to curse. His favorite phrase is, "This is." The other day, Devontae punched a hole in the wall, and he said it was an accident, but we know there's more to that. We had to put a lock on our 13-year-old daughter's door because he was tearing our room apart. None of the other children want to be around him. They're afraid of him. I've already checked out mentally. I just need to check out physically. I'm at the point where I can't stand inside of Devontae. I can't stand to look at him. I've had it. I want to leave. It's just too much.
Okay, so you're ready to check out.
Yes, I am.
So tell me what that means. Are you going to leave and leave the family, the children,
No.
your husband behind? What are you going to do?
I'm ready to take my other 3 children and leave for their safety. Leave him with his dad.
What do you think about that?
Well,
Just leave the problem with you and go.
Well, if she decides to do that, then that's what I'll have to deal with. But I really don't want her to leave and take my other children because now I don't have my wife at my home and I don't have my other children with me. But I have to deal with him regardless because he's my child.
And he's your child.
Yes, he is.
But you're going to walk away from him.
I've done so much. I talked to Devontae. I've taken him to different counselors. And it's to the point a counselor said, I don't even want to see him because he was cursing her out. It seemed like nothing I do is right. And Damon feels that I'm not doing my job as a mother with him, and I have other children. I cannot devote all of my time to Devontae.
So how does he behave when he's away from you two?
He's perfectly fine.
He's perfectly fine at school. He's an out-of-control, aggressive, physically attacking, assaulting hellion with you.
Exactly.
Yes.
But when he's at school, he's fine.
Yes, he is.
Say perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine.
So what do you reckon that means?
That there's something going on in the home that's causing Devontae to behave this way.
What would you guess it might be?
My guess is my husband, Damon. Damon yells all the time. Nothing is ever right. He's not one to give praise when the children do something good, but when they do something bad, he's the first one to jump up and start screaming. There's no physical abuse, but in my opinion, it's mental and emotional abuse going on between the children and also me.
What do you think?
I do admit that I do yell because I'm upset now because Devontae is always doing something in the home. I work in the evening, and when I call on my lunch break, I feel she comes to me and tells me that the things that Devontae does and everybody's in an uproar in the house. And I tell her, well, what are you doing? So now, to me, it's like a blame game. What are you doing? I don't feel that she's doing what she needs to be doing while I'm at work, or she's not putting her foot down hard enough, or being repetitive with him.
So you think the problem's him, and you think the problem's her?
Exactly.
Right, we're in the middle of playing a blame game, and it's destroying our marriage.
My husband blames me for Devontae's behavior.
I think my wife is too lenient on Devontae.
Excuse me, don't touch him.
She has to be more aggressive.
If we're trying to find out where Devontae learned his behavior, we don't have to look very far. It comes from his dad.
Well, they blame each other for this child's bad behavior. They do. Take a look.
My wife and I are always playing a blame game.
My husband blames me for Devontae's behavior. He feels that I allow Devontae to do whatever he wants to do.
I think my wife is too lenient on Devontae.
Excuse me, don't touch him.
She has to be more aggressive.
What upsets me the most about all of this is Damon doesn't see his part in Devontae's behavior.
He was just upsetting me.
I don't think she's doing everything that she can.
He behaves more like you.
He don't behave like me.
If we're trying to find out where Devontae learned his behavior, we don't have to look very far. It comes from his dad. Damon uses that word, and now Devontae uses that word.
I think Devontae learned these curse words from cartoons, video games, the rap videos.
Damon was so angry a couple months ago, he put a hole in the wall. Recently, Devontae put a hole in the wall.
I think Devontae picked up these bad behaviors on his own.
I truly believe that Damon is the problem because Devontae is mimicking his dad. Like father, like son.
Okay, let's. It's interesting to me that both of you so passionately defend your position and criticize the other one, when neither one of you are within a country mile of where you need to be in managing this kid. Both of you are being destructive influences in this child's life. And I'm not here to throw you under the bus, I'm just telling you the truth. And I'm going to talk real fast because I feel like the clock is ticking here. This boy is 9, and he is running the show.
Yes, he is.
Now, I want you to picture him at 14 or 15 with another 50, 60 pounds on him and more maturity physically.
That's the problem. He has actually told me when he becomes a teenager or get older that he's going to whoop my ass.
Yeah, and that may happen. Trust me, I've been doing this a long time. This stuff goes on, and it happens. That means you need to get in control, and you've got one chance here of turning this around, and that's for the two of you to come together as a unified front. Because whether you like her approach to this or you don't, whether you like his approach to this or not, you are a team, and you need to present as a team. Kids can be devious. They divide and conquer.
Yes,
they do.
And you have admitted to us, and I will say this, you were very honest and forthcoming with us. We asked you guys a million questions. I know you got tired of us asking you so many questions. But during that, you guys have admitted to us that you are inconsistent, You do not stick to your guns was your terminology.
Yes.
Sometimes you ignore things, other times you blow up about it. Sometimes you're unplugged, sometimes you're there. You say something, you don't stick with it. It's inconsistent. You got to go into what is called commando parenting. Commando parenting, and I'm going to tell you what that is after the break.
My brother Devontae, he fight me like every day. He's mean to me. He's like a bully.
We're talking about what happens when family members attack one another. Now, Arlene and Damon have a 9-year-old son who they say is constantly beating up his brother, Damon Jr. Let's take a look at what the boys had to say.
Me and my brother get in a lot of fights. My brother Devontae, he fight me like every day. He's mean to me. He's like a bully. I feel like a wimp because I don't like fighting back. I don't want to hurt my brother. I like to tell Devontae to stop being a cruel brother and be respectful. We're going to be like close brothers, but it seems not to be happening.
What do you think about what they had to say?
That is so...
It's disturbing.
It's very disturbing that my 10-year-old child is being bullied
In his own home.
by his 9-year-old brother.
What's more important than getting this young man turned around?
We need to work on our marriage to be able to work on Devontae properly, because if we get the help for Devontae and this is still going on...
Okay, listen, the reason I ask that is because obviously something is more important, or you would have made this your #1 priority, and you haven't. And you just said something interesting. You said, we need to get help for him. This is not his problem. There's good news and bad news here. The good news is this isn't his problem. That's good news for him. The bad news is this is a family problem. You can't fix him. You've got to fix the family here. The family dynamic here is all out of whack.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can't fix him without fixing you. And when I say commando parenting, it means if you have to take every vacation day you have, every sick day you have, every minute that you both have to just say, okay, I'm going to loosen up and get in here. I am staying plugged into this until we get this turned around. Now, you say, well, I work at night, I have to work, I work in the day. Let me tell you something. This time commitment I'm asking you to make is going to pale in comparison to the time you're going to spend in court, the time you're going to spend driving to the prison, the time you're going to spend trying to cover damages that have been done.
Exactly.
Yes.
This is an urgent situation. You are the most powerful role model in this child's life, and it's time for you to man up and step up. If you are modeling for him anger and yelling and screaming, you need to get that under control. You were listening to me talk. Where is she? Here she is, right here. You were listening to me talk to her, right?
Yes.
Okay, I don't want that to be part of these children's lives even a little bit here. Even a little bit. You guys are going to have to understand what it means to establish some boundaries in this young man's life. This is going to start stripped down. It's going to start with no free time. It's going to start with a high degree of structure, and privileges are earned. He's going to have to learn to relate to his brother. He's going to have to learn to modulate his anger, and it's going to be modeled by the two of you. You can't be yelling and screaming at each other and modeling chaos. You can't say one thing and then do another.
Exactly.
You can't say, don't say you're grounded for a year if what you mean is 10 minutes.
Exactly.
You got to say, you're going to sit here for 10 minutes.
How do I go about, because I can put Devontae in timeout, and before I can walk away from his timeout spot, he is beating me out of that spot.
You do it until. You do it until. And if it means you have to put him back there 1,000 times, then you put him back there 1,000 times. And kids throw tantrums, and they'll yell and scream. And you say, no, I'm not going to give in. They go, okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll throw up. That'll get them.
Exactly.
I'll throw up. So then they'll throw up. And if you come back and get involved in this, they go, okay, no, then I'll choke. Okay, then we're going to choke. But when he gets through with that, he's going to do it again. He's going to serve his time.
Okay.
And he needs to learn that with you, or he's going to learn it from the authorities.
And that's exactly what I'm afraid of.
And that's what needs to happen. Now, I will get you some help with this. I will get you a family professional that will come in and help you do this. Okay. But they're not going to come in and fix him. They're going to come in and fix the family.
And we're the ones who need to be fixed first.
Okay, are we clear on this?
Yes, we are.
All right, we'll be right back. I want to thank all of my guests today. And, you know, I talked early on about common sense. I mean, if you're home and you're having these anger outbursts, maybe not as bad as what you've seen here today, or your child is acting up, but not as bad as you see here today, understand this is on a continuum. And you pass through lesser degrees of anger to get where you are. He passed through lesser degrees to get where he is. Early intervention is the key here. And I have great confidence and faith that you guys can do this. I really do. And I have confidence that your son really wants to do the right thing. Do you think he does?
Yes, I do.
And you said he's already shown some hope here, right?
Yes, he has.
How so?
Once your crew came into our home, well, once they started calling, he realized he's very intelligent, and he realized something was going on, that we were recording him. So he started acting better. And once the guys came to our home, he talked to them and told them that he didn't want to do this anymore. And we see him working really hard from the last few days with you guys coming into our home.
Well, and that's a 9-year-old doing this on his own.
Yes.
So what we'll do is just move that crew there permanently, and we'll have everything fixed. For more advice on controlling your anger and commando parenting, go to drphil.com. Thanks for being here. So long.
Memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last time. I've always been naive. Call it